Hi guys. Welcome to Trigger Your Truth. I'm Kristen. Um I'm here with my big rose quartz egg today cuz I just feel like I need to share the love with all of you. Um Man, you guys inspired me and took the time to comment and like and subscribe, and oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how grateful I am and how much that means to me. And I love all of you, and I just want you to know that it's really meant a lot to me. And thank you. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful, and thanks for the love. So, love to all of you. It was funny after that video. My daughter and I obviously spoke, um, and I apologized for being passive aggressive, and shared with her that um, I tried to go within and sit with it, and let her know that that wasn't an authentic way to handle our conversation earlier last week. And it was interesting because she so confidently was able to share her truth again, and it really sparked a lot of reflection for me this weekend. So I just thought I'd jump back on here. Here I am. Happy Monday. But what she said to me that was really profound was that I don't know why I put so much weight on how you feel and how I think that you feel, whether I'm whether you're happy or angry or disappointed or sad. And then she said, but I've realized I can't put that on you. That is something I need to understand about me. Oh, hello. I was like, shit. If I could have done that at her age, I would have lived a really peaceful life. So that was just extremely beautiful to hear. Number one, I'm so incredibly amazed with her and her awareness already, and being able to share her truth. Holy cow, if I could have communicated like that at her age. Um, but it kind of took me, opened a door, if you will, for me to kind of sit back and review, honestly, my relationships, all of them, family, friends, kids, parents, community, phone. And it was like another little aha for me, if you will, that I just kind of felt like I needed to share. Especially today. I had the advantage of no phones, no computers, no internet, and boy, we could, when we went home, we could get away. And the poor kids today, my kids, I mean, gosh darn it, they can't get away. The fight at school follows them home. You know, bullying follows them home. Self love or lack of follows them home with this phone. So to me, the phone's a really big piece of relationships today. And to be honest with myself, looking back on these relationships that I've had, some are gone, and that's okay. They serve their purpose, and new ones have come in, which I have tremendously enjoyed, including you guys out there. But I think one thing that I really kind of have to say out loud, and that really kind of was a huge piece of sparking my healing journey, was, with realizing that I had a fear of communicating, that I was putting my self-worth and giving it to relationships and codependencies and people pleasing, right? um, so that I could love myself. Then I also have to say that, after that conversation with my daughter, that of course my behavior imprinted on her. Of course it probably made her have some fear, right? Probably made her feel like she had to keep the peace between her dad and I, right? If we were not in harmony, which we weren't. I've shared those on other videos. Part of it because I couldn't communicate and he couldn't communicate. But to get really real with it, um, alcohol was an absolute player in relationships for me. It was, well, hell, let's face it, that is a societal thing that, you know, I grew up with. Always an alcohol commercial. Drink if you're at a football game. Drink if you're at a baseball game. Drink if you have to go to a funeral. Drink if you had a bad day at work. Um, Boy, it was always there, right? Um, and then kind of what you don't realize through time is that it really does also kind of become that coping mechanism, so that you can avoid understanding yourself, avoid communicating, which I was already afraid of, avoid being vulnerable with myself and understanding who I was and that I didn't love myself, and I was looking for it in other relationships. So of course alcohol became really easy for my husband and I to avoid getting real with ourselves and individually, and then with the relationship. That is, I think that's really common right now. Um, and very easy. It was very easy to drink more often or to drink more of it. Um, Really to avoid getting to know myself and understanding me, because I was afraid, right? It's ultimately it was fear. But damn, what was I afraid of? Because communicating and being vulnerable is not bad. It's been wonderful learning how to do that and learning how to explore that within myself. Um, and darn it, I wish I would have done it earlier. But I think with relationships, ultimately, what we have to ask ourselves and free ourselves from is putting it into other relationships, no matter what the relationship is. Because you're not going to change them or the other person in the relationship or the social media on the phone relationship. The only thing we can control is us. So you have to understand yourself well enough that you understand the behaviors that you're doing that keep you in that stuck mode, right? So like for me, with my fear of communication, my fear of not being loved, my looking in other relationships or to social media for validation, then, you know, or and then hiding it with alcohol, right? Then my divine feminine energy of doing this, right? Of sharing and being honest and being vulnerable and intelligent about it. I couldn't say these things out loud. I couldn't I couldn't feel them and understand myself. I would people please or get really competitive so that everything was perfect and um, people would compliment me and people would like a social media post and then yay me, I loved myself a little bit more and I kept doing it and doing it and doing it, right? Same thing with the relationships then. So, my relationships weren't truly authentic. They were built on people pleasing. So then if, that text message, you know, I sent goes out and I don't get a response, then dang it, there goes my the balance of my divine feminine energy, right? Because I'll sit here and overthink it, worry, lose sleep. Why didn't they respond? Do they not love me? Do they hate me? And then what do? Then I get passive aggressive. Then I start to ignore them. And then I start to clean my house more, make everything look more perfect, or do a social media post, or work overtime and not communicate. And then there's that divine masculine trying to control everything because it's out of balance, right? So it's like one energy gets thrown off a little bit, then the other one is a little bit more hyper go, right? So of course I was stuck. stuck. All the time I was stuck. Couldn't get out of the stuck. So then what do? You drink because you had a busy day or you drink because oh it's so beautiful, let's sit outside and then once again avoidance, put up a wall, not communicating, and I kept going. Damn, I wish I would have seen this earlier, but divine timing, right? We have to trust that when you're ready, then you'll see it and want to do it. Um, but yeah, so a lot of relationships, and that, it's not just based with the relationship with my husband, but, no wonder my kids felt that. So, very important for me to share with them what I've learned about myself and how that behavior and what they witnessed with all of that growing up is not alignment and it's not, you know, being balanced and authentic. It was being afraid and stepping into those behaviors that I thought were protecting me when ultimately, they weren't. It just kept me stuck over and over. I was stuck again. So, yeah. And what's funny is I had that conversation with my daughter, and I was thinking about that in all my relationships, and then obviously the phone, right? And how easy it is with to send a text because we're afraid to go people to people, or you know, throw up a post on social media and let the likes, you know, tell me how much I'm loved versus actually loving myself. Then I get this text message on Friday, I believe, Thursday or Friday, through all this, and it's a trainer at the gym I go to that I do not know. Like, I had no idea the name attached to this person. And my trainer, unfortunately, went to a new gym. And it was like, in a nutshell, from a number obviously I didn't have, Kristen, I want to congratulate you. I see how consistent you are being at the gym. Um, I'm really proud of you. I love seeing you there. If you want a free training session, give me a call. And then his name. And so at first I was like, okay, I am totally creeped out, right? That some guy is walking around and he knows who I am and I have no idea who he is. And then I kind of get a little angry. And then I kind of get a little victim playing. Woe is me. I'm the woman. Who's this jerk coming over text? And then I'm judging him. And then I'm thinking about my daughter's conversation and how I've been reflecting on relationships and communication and where I am today versus where I was 6 months ago. And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to ignore it. And I deleted it. And then I thought, well, here we go. I'm trying to control the situation. I'm trying to control the outcome by putting up a wall and ignoring him. And then I thought, well, I'll just text him back and say, who are you and why do you have my number? And then I thought, well, that is kind of like crazy emotional out of balance, right? The divine feminine out of balance. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself today at the gym, I'm like, well, that's keeping stuck. So I go over to the little picture wall and I look for his name. So now I know who he is. And thought to myself, okay, let's breathe and be present and let's be very authentic and genuine and let's go talk to him face to face and just say, um, that's not a comfortable feeling for me as a woman that you randomly are telling me that you see how consistent I am and I have no idea who you are. You should have approached me in person. You may want to try that approach in the future. This, comes across a little creepy, right? And then I've spoke my truth. Hopefully it will come across very authentically with love and light, no judgment, and we'll both be better for it. Then I won't step into, you know, staying stuck and staying out of balance with my feminine and masculine energies because I'm either ignoring them or reacting crazy emotionally. So I think it's important that we're free. It's we have to be responsible for us. We're not going to change, the random stranger texting a message or the social media or, you know, the likes. We need to be free of that and really let go of finding our self-worth through others because that isn't giving us the space to understand ourselves any better. That just puts us in a position where we're still attaching our self-worth and our love of ourself to other people, no matter who it is. And for relationships to grow together and get better, whether it's community or a trainer or your kids or your partner or a friendship, you have to love yourself, and you have to be so enlightened with your self-awareness that we don't use those, behaviors to give our control away and put it onto the people in our lives. We absolutely deserve to be free of that. And it feels really good to start to release all that. So I hope this kind of inspires you to think about things. Think about that divine feminine. Think about that divine masculine, and how that energy flows in you, and how your behaviors are a mirror, right? And a reflection back to you, how to grow and learn more about yourself, because it's really enabled me to not be afraid to be vulnerable with myself, to be able to communicate with my kids and my husband and my friends like I never have been able to do so before, to be able to stop posting on social media just to get freaking likes. Oh gosh, kind of funny. But I think if we're all honest with ourselves, it's very easy that this is how we were raised, right? This is what society is teaching us. And we just need to learn how to release that so that we can really love ourselves and continue to grow and be better humans, right? Find more joy in it. So, but yeah, again, you guys, I want to say thank you. In fact, on my way to the gym this morning after my walk, I just found myself crying, but it was like a joy cry, like proud of myself that I can communicate better with the relationships in my life, and very touched by you guys. And yeah, so thank you. I am so grateful. And again, I love me some crystals. Rose quartz for the heart chakra. So sending you guys all love. And let me know what you think. Thank you.